let's really do the news.
Yes, the news. Ferrari, okay, has broken the lap record at the Nürburgring for production cars, okay, with this, the 599XX. It did it in 6 minutes, 58 seconds.
Nürburgring?
That's faster than Clay Regazzoni's lap record in an F1 car. I know the track's a little bit shorter now, but that is almost unbelievably fast for a road car, for a production car.
That is incredible. It does have a 6-litre V12 and 772 horsepower, and it costs 1.2 million pounds. And you can't actually have it.
Well, not unless you've got 1.2 million pounds, obviously.
No, but that's the thing, you can buy it, okay, and you own it, but then they don't let you have it, but they do let you drive it occasionally, if they feel like it.
Can I just say that this was the actual photograph that Ferrari sent to us to show what the car looked like at the Nürburgring. Now, I'm not sure it's particularly brilliant. If we look at the graffiti on the track...
That's not a map of the Nürburgring, is it? No. You've seen it now.
And I have to say, the man who is responsible for this piece of graffiti has also been at work in Russia on a drawbridge. I've got a picture here.
Well, the Porsche that just makes a bit of sick come into your mouth when you see it. Which would you rather have? That's the thing.
Nobody's watching. Nobody's actually in there, are they? They all come along and... But they are! The World Cup is on BBC One and ITV. How many people do you think are watching? We're just talking a high-pitched squeak.
It's just us in this room.
It's just us. Why don't you get naked? Go on.
According to the newspapers, Top Gear has now become serious.
Yes, so here we go.
Yes.
Gentlemen, tell me, since we were last here, what is the best car you've driven?
Good question, glad you asked it. It would be this, Lamborghini Gallardo. This is the Superleggera, the new one, 570. It's magnificent, lighter, stiffer, faster, 570 brake horsepower. I haven't actually driven it as such, but I've looked at that picture of it and I'm desperate.
570?
That's very interesting,
yeah.
but because the standard car has 560, doesn't it? And then Ferrari brought out the 458, which has got, I think, 562.
Yes, two more.
And then, mysteriously, Lamborghini came back with 570.
All of a sudden. We all know why it is. It's because Lamborghini are owned by Audi, so the Germans do the actual building of the cars, and then they let the Italians do the brochure. So they're just filling the numbers. It's got 1 million horsepower, yes. 100,000, it's invisible, and it's got cannons.
What about you, then? Come on.
Best car I've driven? I have actually driven it, AMG SLS. It is a mental, we've got a picture of it here. Honestly, it is insanely fast. The only thing I don't like about it, really, are the doors. It's got gull wings, so I'll probably wait for the convertible.
Well, how can you have gull-wing doors on a convertible? They'd be all floppy.
We have normal doors on a convertible, and then it would be fantastic. No, that was awesome. So, James, you?
Well, to be honest, I think it's got to be the new Boxster Spider, which I'm driving next week, actually.
So you haven't driven that either?
No,
he means...
I've driven it, but
We're shooting on the program
television. He recorded it.
I've driven it, yeah.
Now, normally I wouldn't bring this up, but Citroën UK has appointed a new sales director, okay? And his name is Charles Peugeot.
No, it isn't.
No, they're what?
I have photographic proof from Citroën, Charles Peugeot.
What are they thinking? What's his email address going to be? charles.peugeot@Citroën.
Hang on. What if there are lots of people called Charles Peugeot working at Citroën, so he ends up being Charles... Charles.Peugeot 405. Sorry, it wasn't worth it.
There's a new car come out. It's called the Knight XV. Got a picture of it here. Okay, now XV.
That's 207 Roman numerals.
93.
Yes.
No, it's 207.
Yeah,
definitely. Let me talk you through it. Okay, £650,000. For that, you get internet connectivity, you get DVD, TV, a cigar humidor, and according to one report, it can resist gunfire for 24 hours.
Do you know what? I think if I was shooting at someone, I'd get sort of bored after about 4 hours.
I think the police would have arrived by 4 hours, personally.
Yeah, but forgive me, it is a car. You'd kind of drive off before after an hour, they're not going to change their mind. I'm going away.
He is still shooting at me.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well is, it's made in Canada. Who in Canada could do... Are you Canadian? Whatever happens in Canada that would cause somebody to shoot at somebody else for 24 hours? The other thing as well is if you are shooting at it, it's not likely you're going to miss, because here's a picture of it next to a Hummer. Look at the size of it. It is massive.
Before we do the news, I'd just like to conduct a quick loyalty test. As I'm sure you know, last week there was some sort of football match on at the same time as us, so I just wondered, who watched Top Gear last week? Hands up.
I did. Yeah, I did. It was great. Jeremy, you?
I couldn't watch it.
Well, I'll be honest, I found the bit with the wedding pretty cringeworthy, but I struggled on and made it.
No, I couldn't watch it because I was in Johannesburg.
Watching the final.
Yes, I did.
Great. So the 1 week when we wanted to call in a bit of loyalty, and you decided instead to go to South Africa and watch a Dutchman kick a Spaniard in the heart.
Yes, I did. But
Thank
I
you so much
have
for
brought
support.
one of these back.
Oh, God. Oh, great. 2 long, noisy things. That's just
One long noisy thing. They don't work. They don't. Look.
What was all the fuss about then? Look, they were terrifyingly loud. That's
Well, I mean, I
pitiful.
might have drunk some tequila through it, I admit, after the match, but it doesn't work. You won't be. You've got a degree.
I'll go, if you play a solo, I'll kick you. That would disturb a game of chess, let alone a football match. It doesn't work. Why is it orange?
Why is it? Oh, I was supporting the Dutch.
Why were you supporting the Dutch?
Because the Dutch watch Top Gear and the Spanish don't. Simple as that.
And you don't watch Top Gear in your house either, do you? Apparently. Thanks for that.
Yes. Oh, now, are there any girls here?
Well,
Good. Don't ever faint in Holland. That would be my Top Gear top tip for the night. We've got some footage here that explains what I'm on about. It's the start of a race. There's the grid girl. Oh, she's got a bit wobbly. And she's fainted. There you go. So you're thinking, poor girl. Yeah, you're thinking, oh no, now she's lying on the track. So as we can see, men in high visibility jackets have come over to make sure she's okay. Or are they making sure she's okay? How do you make... Oh, put your hand on her bottom. That's the ticket. That's what he's done. Now let's hear what the driver's got to say.
Check mijn auto weg. Oh, mijn auto. Oh, wow. Is de auto oké?
Get the girl off!
that's a racing driver, isn't it? All over. A couple of weeks ago, you may remember, we announced that Ferrari had broken the lap record at the Nürburgring.
Yes.
They did it in 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Great! But already, Pagani have broken that with this, the Zonda R, and they've gone round it in 6 minutes and 40. We've got some footage of them doing it here. Here we go. Obviously, it's just very, very fast.
Wait a minute, is this a road car?
Yes, it is. I mean, you can drive it on the road. It is.
Yeah, but the whole point is this is a record. That is...
Well, it's not a shopping car, obviously.
Yeah, I see. So this road car with fire coming out of the back.
Well done, then.
Let's do the news.
I'll tell you, just before we do, I don't know if you heard, you know, Barack Obama's been prattling on about British petroleum and this is 9/11 times 1,000, this oil spill. Did you hear how the English football fans responded during the American game the other day? Did you hear that? They were actually singing, "You're not swimming anymore."
That is classic.
There aren't very many things that we all agree on, except this. We all think that the best small car that you can buy at the moment is the Citroen DS3.
Yeah.
No, we're not joking about this. That is a genuinely brilliant little car.
Think about it. It's like a Mini that smokes gulwas. It's just reality.
It is. It's fantastic.
The weird thing is, it's got exactly the same engine as the Mini, hasn't it? As the Mini
Yeah.
Cooper, but it just feels better for
It
some
does. It's
reason.
great. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is because they're bringing out a new hot version of this. Got a picture of it here. It's called the Racing. Okay.
Yeah.
200 horsepower. The only thing is Citroen will not. They refuse to tell us how much it's going to cost. I'm just going to make it up. 50 quid. There you go. It's 50 pounds.
It's £50.
That's
You want
fantastic.
one?
And the thing is, who in their life wouldn't want orange wheels?
Well-
Seriously.
Well, anyone with red hair, I imagine it'll clash. Squirrels, red squirrels, they were terrible.
Or the Duchess of York.
And Robinson.
Yes.
The Pope, what's he called, the Pope bloke?
Well, the Pope.
Silence,
It's
you
endless.
two. They're only making 1,000 of them because they're French and therefore idle communists.
Well, that's because nobody wants orange wheels, obviously. We don't know.
Anyway, I can't wait to get a go in that. It just looks brilliant.
It does look
and I do like the wheels.
Hey, good news. Look, I have secured some top secret film taken inside the factory of the new Dacia Duster being made.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyway, the end of... I'm sure you have. Sure you like it very much.
Just briefly, has anybody this week seen this in the newspapers? I mean, it's the most ridiculous. I think it was actually an accident thing. No, it was an accident, because what she actually said was revolting, but it came out like fantastic. That's what she was... No, it's just...
No, I think actually what's happened here is they've had to cut the quote to make it fit on the newspaper, and they've had to take out "an imbecile, but James May is."
Yeah.
Which would have gone in.
No, she didn't say that, James, because you didn't say one word to her when she was down here. Or you... Honestly, Tom Cruise arrived last week. These two. Oh, Tom, I've got an old motorbike as well. Would you like to come? Wear leather trousers and go off into the countryside and drink orange juice.
We couldn't get near to Cameron because she was entirely surrounded by you.
She hugged me 3 times.
She's an actress. She was pretending you know.
Not in my mind, she wasn't.
In her mind, she was remembering the advice. Now, Cameron, hug the big monster and pretend it's not scary. She was sick.
I'm now on her to-do list.
You're on her restraining order list, mate. It's the only list you're on.
Hammond.
Yes. A normal Nissan GTR costs what? 60 grand?
60 grand,
Okay,
yeah.
well, this is the new one. It's the Spec V, the V-Spec GTR. That is £125,000 all of a sudden. Yeah.
Why is it 125?
Do you know, it's difficult to tell. I've had a look. I mean, it doesn't have any more power than the normal car that I can see, but it does have something called a boost control device. Basically, it's a button. When you press it, it spools up both the turbos and releases a sudden burst of more power. I just hope that button is mounted on top of the gear lever, under like a little cage. You lift it, and oh, and then you got another code word before you put that in, and then maybe 2 keys in the dash have to be turned simultaneously before
like on a nuclear submarine.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
You get
exactly.
an EAM and then you turn them.
Permission from the
executive.
president. It's a go. I want that just for that button.
Yes.
I'm going to point out, because this is sensible Top Gear, that it also comes with a very competitive 3-year warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now, hey, this is an important piece of news. I really want to bring this up. A lot of people imagine the most dangerous time of year to drive is November or perhaps February, dark nights, fog, ice. But we were talking about this the other day, and we think the most dangerous time to drive a car is round about now.
Yeah.
Sunny skies, light breezes, girls wearing short skirts.
Dangerous. Very dangerous.
Because the thing is, you can't not look.
No, I mean, you actually can't.
You can't physically not look.
You have no choice. Other things you can choose not to do. It's easy not to use your mobile phone when driving. Easy not to drive home when you've had 18 pints of lager. But you're driving along and there's a girl, mustn't look. I'm looking. Oh gosh, I'm still looking. You can't.
Do you have any idea what we're on about? I drove through Soho the other night, honestly. You know Linda Blair in the... spinning around,
degrees.
crashing into lampposts and letterboxes and other cars.
It's impossible not to.
The thing is, we know that Jemaine Greer is actually an avid viewer of Top Gear.
Is she?
No, she really is. She really is. She is.
In your mind.
No, she is. Anyway, she will be annoyed about this, but the fact is, what we're trying to say is that we can't help it. It's natural. I mean, in the last 3 days, I've nearly had 2 quite serious accidents on the back of a taxi. If you know what I mean.
James May's susceptible to it. That's
Yeah, but it was road work as he was looking at.
Actually, do you not think there is here a case for the burqa?
Ah.
Because
The
the
burqa?
problem goes away.
No,
with the burqa. You're not gonna
honestly, the burqa doesn't... It doesn't work, because I was in a cab in Piccadilly the other day, okay? A woman in a full burqa crossing the road in front of me, or in front of the cab, tripped over the sort of pavement, went head over heels.
Face over apex.
Yeah, and up it came, red G-string, stockings.
That did not happen.
Promise.
It didn't
promise.
happen. No.
It did.
Did you see this incident on DVD or pay-per-view?
Because it didn't happen.
The taxi driver will back me up on that.
He was in the cinema with you.
That never happened.
It did.
It didn't happen.
Next week, Jeremy visits a hospital and a nurse's top falls off.
In Jeremy's mind.
Now, have a look at this. This is a device. It fits on the exhaust pipe of your car, and as you drive along, it cooks a burger for you. It's brilliant.
In the exhaust fumes.
No. The exhaust fumes don't cook the burger. It's like like a toasted sandwich maker. the hot gas from the exhaust heats it up and then it griddles the burger in between the two bits.
It's a bit close to the whole exhaust process for food.
Your testes are close to your bottom, but you still play with them all the time. The news. Now, as you probably saw if you were watching the Grand Prix coverage last weekend, the Williams team bought Rubens Barrichello a T-shirt. Here he is wearing it.
He looks really happy.
Yeah, well, he is really happy. He's so happy, in fact, he's bought all the other Grand Prix drivers who've been down to Top Gear over the years T-shirts. And here's Jenson Button wearing his.
Oh.
I think that demonstrates that somebody in Formula One has got a sense of humour. Makes you wonder, though, I wonder what Fernando Alonso's T-shirt would say. I made Felipe Massa give me this T-shirt. Did anyone see the Grand Prix last weekend? The controversy, for those of you who didn't, what the rules say, Rule 39.1 to be specific, says no team is allowed to, I think it's interfere, isn't it, with the race result. Now, what that means is you can't tell one of your drivers to pull over and let the other one go by. Okay, you can't do that. And to make sure the teams don't cheat, the stewards monitor the radio traffic between the pit and the cars, okay? So Ferrari needed last week for Massa to get out of the way and let Alonso go by, so they used a coded message. You want to guess what it was?
Was it, Philippe, the rain in Paris falls in May?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh, was it a blue badger flies over the crafty cow? I don't know.
No, it wasn't that. What they actually said was, Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understand this message?
It's not much of a code, is it, really? So much braking.
If the German Navy had had a code like that in World War II, we'd have beaten them in about a week, because it would have said, the destroyers are to the left.
The interesting thing for me is the punishment. You may remember last year before, McLaren were caught looking over somebody's shoulder and copying their homework. And they were fined $100 million and had all their points taken away. Ferrari, for this infringement, were fined $100,000, which is what they pay Alonso every day.
Really? That's all they were fined for completely corrupting the outcome of a world championship?
It's disgusting, and actually the only honourable course of action is that for all Ferrari owners, all of them, to go outside now and smash their cars up.
Yeah. I think burn them.
Yeah, and then kill themselves.
Yeah.
Just because it's the only decent thing to do, really, all Ferrari owners.
What I actually think, I'm not just saying this because of all that stuff you've just been through, but I think Ferrari were right, actually, to do that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, team orders, they should allow them, no question. Because if I ran a team, I'd have one really fast car, then I'd have me, basically, driving around at the back, and anyone who tried to lap me, I'd shoot them with a BB gun.
That's a team.
Yeah, that's just
Work
a
together.
paintball gun.
Yeah, just fit your second car with a massive wing that nobody can get past.
Yeah.
It's at the back, nobody can get past.
Well, yeah, I'd definitely do that.
Everybody, good news. No, wait, it's better than you think. The new Dacia Duster is coming to the UK.
Okay.
How about that?
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah. There was a report out the other week about dangerous roads in Britain, and there were some incredible statistics in it. Half of all the crashes in Britain happen on 10% of the roads, okay? Now, one of the most dangerous roads is this one. It's the A something or other, 537 near Macclesfield. And most of the roads that are in the sort of most dangerous category are bikers' roads.
Oh, here we go. Have a go at bikers' time, is it? It's been a while. Go on then, kick us.
Let me give you this, right?
Yes.
1 in 4 fatal serious accidents on an A road involves a bike. Now, there are only 8 bikes on the road of Britain, and they're involved in a quarter of all crashes.
Well, yeah, it's not.
If, in terms of miles covered, they're more dangerous than puff adders. If you've got one of those Suzuki black boosers.
Hayabusa.
Whatever. See, black booster sounds like a sex toy.
I think it
doesn't
probably is, yeah. Hayabusa.
Okay, so you drive that on average about 10 times a year.
Yes.
Statistically, you will be killed 3 times every time you go out. Don't give you another statistic, right? The average age at which a biker is killed is 35.
Aha!
What?
I'm 47.
That means you've been living on borrowed time for 12 years.
No, for 12 years he's been riding his bike perfectly perpendicular to the road.
He does, actually. Honestly. We left here the other day. I've seen faster moving icebergs than you. We got behind a bus going up to the A3 from here, and he sat behind the bus the entire way. Oh, I'm going along. He did.
That's because, Jeremy, the bus said Guildford on the front, and that's where I wanted to go. it's the news.
Yes, it is. And talking about the Porsche Panamera, you would think, would you not, that it's impossible to make that car any uglier?
Yes.
The ugliest thing in the world. Well, it is. There's a Swiss company called Mansory, and well, here's their creation. I mean, it actually is uglier, isn't it? I'm going to be sick.
That is, how much is it?
£133,000. They want for that monster.
And I like the interior best of all. I've looked at this for an interior. It's like the set of a children's television programme. All it needs is a ball pit down here, and then they've pretty much got it finished. Hey, anyone go to Goodwood Festival of Speed last weekend? Several. Because I'm told, I wasn't able to make it, but I'm told they had a moving motor show there. Now, the idea was, unlike a normal motor show where the cars just sit still, you could jump in and have a go, which sounds like a great idea, unless you're one of the 4 people who were run over. Seriously, I've got a picture here. Somebody got in a Honda Civic.
Is there any danger that these Goodwood people might take over the Farnborough Air Show?
Right, next 7 for a go in the Red Arrows. Come on, give it a bash.
Welcome to the Goodwood Interactive Zoo. Now, who wants to do lion taming? No, it doesn't work.
No, the Goodwood Festival of Live Ammunition. Are there actual bullets in these guns? Yeah, well, you might have a go. Is there a range? No, just help yourself. Oh, that's fantastic. Anyone else live in the Cotswolds around here? You do? Have you seen those roads where it says bikers beware? What does that mean? Does that mean I'm supposed to beware of them?
The point about the Bikers Beware sign is it's sign shorthand, so you can read it at speed. There's no point making a sign saying, motorcyclists, have you considered that there may be a cantankerous, pig-headed, middle-aged man with pews for hair driving around on a stupidly overpowered Mercedes that should be a 4-seater but hasn't got a back seat and yet costs twice as much? Because if there is, you could be at risk. The sign would be
Why doesn't
enormous.
it just say bikers go home? Anyone here a biker?
Oh, God.
Well done! Right, so 8. 42 set off.
Listen, you want to talk dangerous?
What?
Cigarette, Jeremy? Why not?
I'll do you a bet. After the show tonight, you can all come and watch. After the show, you get onto your black booster. You ride round the track as fast as you can, and I'll chain smoke. We'll see who dies first. You're on. The European Union, which is a big thing in Belgium. It is.
Fair enough.
They've decided that all car makers, okay, must reach an average target for their whole range of cars. So here's how it works, okay? If BMW sell a V12 limousine, they must then sell lots of little diesel 1 Series cars to keep the average of the CO2 down.
Averaged across the
It's
range.
average. So if you think about it, now Bugatti, it's not so bad because Bugatti's owned by Volkswagen, yeah? And Volkswagen also makes the Polo, so that's fine. But Aston Martin, bit of a problem. Because Aston Martin isn't owned by VW or Ford, it's on its own.
And they only make
big thirsty cars. So they've got to get their average down. So they've had to make a small car, okay? And we have a picture of it here. It's called the Signet.
This is potentially disastrous because it risks ruining their reputation.
Yes, because what that is a Toyota IQ with a leather gear knob and then Toyota crossed out and Aston Martin written in क्रayon. That's what that is.
Hang on a minute. If they just need to bring their average CO2 down,
Yeah.
why don't they just buy a bicycle factory?
Or they should do Aston Martin flowers because they suck in CO2 and put out oxygen. And that would bring it crashing.
I think it has to be a mode of transport. You can't go to work on some flower. A horse?
Scissors.
They could. Have you ever tried sitting on a pair of scissors?
It's not yet.
It probably
won't
has.
work. No, a cow.
Ostriches, they're quite exotic.
And the other one I just thought of is Zonda. What are Zonda going to do?
Oh, that'll be easy. Well, they're Italian, aren't they? They'll just lie. That's what they do. Someone say, emissions is very important. Is it low or high? Low. Okay, my emissions is 1. And that's it. And that's how they'll just lie.
They will just like, well, why don't Aston Martin why don't they take a leaf out of the European book and then just say, yes, our cars don't really produce carbon dioxide at all? Because that's what they know. If you say to a Spanish EU, go and inspect a Spanish fishing boat and go, have you been fishing? No.
What's all that in your boat? My lunch, in case a lot of people are hungry.
This is the answer. Don't make that Aston Martin, just lie.